It's Wednesday, June the 8th. Lake level's right at 917. It never did come up too much after that rain. They generated a lot of water. Went up to about 917 and a half, but it stabilized out the last 3 or 4 days. Water temperature, anywhere from mid-70s up to 80 degrees. Depends where you're at. The fishing, most all last week we had overcast and rain a lot of days. And the topwater bite was really phenomenal. It was good topwater bite, good swim bait bite. Now this week's been completely different. The sun's come out. We've had clear skies, very little wind. But, the fishing's been awesome. For the last week, it really has. A lot of the fish are starting to move out in their summertime patterns, getting a little bit deeper. There's a drop shot bite happening. But there's still a ton of fish shallow, and it doesn't matter where on the lake you are. I've been from one end to the next. I've been fortunate to have some guys the last 3-4 days that want to try some different things. So we've been different river arms, doing a little bit of everything. But as far as on the main lake, the little underspin, especially the first few hours in the morning, and it doesn't matter whether you're at the dam, you're up in one of the rivers, just kind of look for the flat gravel points just outside the spawning areas. And a little 3/16 ounce or quarter ounce underspin with a 2.8 Kitech is by far my best bait. Now you can rig that up, on a little Kitech with just on a straight grub head will work fine. Now I have tried the little smoke 4-inch chompers or 5-inch. I mean, it'll catch some fish, but it's like 4 or 5 to 1 off the Kitech versus the chompers. Kitech really seems to be catching a lot of fish. And you can catch them throughout the day on that as well. Now, as far as on the drop shot, a lot of my drop shot fish are kind of in the regular places on the main lake, gravel points, up in the river arms off the gravel flats, and they've been 28, some as shallow as 25, some as deep as about 35. Some are starting to suspend over timber, and some are out over the gravel. Now, what we've really had a lot of fun doing, and this will work, I've done it up in Long Creek, I've done it up in the Upper White River, Roaring River, Flat Creek, the James. Like I said, I've been all over the lake, but you can get up there and literally flip fish all day long. When the bite slows down on the main lake, you can head up into the river arms and catch them flipping. I've been catching anywhere from 2, no deeper than 6 or 7 feet. We've been flipping a bunch of different baits. Probably my best bait has been a beaver style bait. This is a biffle bug. I've been Texas rigging that on like quarter ounce head. Reaction Sweet Beaver, California 420. Strike King's got a Rage Bug. PBJ's been working good. And even at the lake level at 917, there's a lot of stuff in the water. Kind of what I'm keying on is little channel swings. They don't seem to be, in the mornings, they're on the dead flat gravel. And I've been able to catch them up there on a buzz bait, whopper plopper. I've been throwing a Crocker Gator buzz bait. It doesn't matter to me what color it is as long as it's black. I'm throwing black one with a black blade or black with a gold blade. And whopper plopper, we've been throwing different colors. Now these fish have been around the buckbrush, real shallow on the flats. When it was overcast last week, it would kind of work throughout the day. But here now that the sun's got up, seems like the first couple hours of the morning. And then the fish are getting on the channel swings up in the rivers. Some are in the buckbrush, some are in the laydowns. And it's been kind of neat. Every day it's a little bit different, and the different river arms have been different from each other. But once you get 1 or 2 bites, it's kind of been a blast because you can almost call your next bite. Whether it's on the crankbait or flipping, the fish, once you find out how they're positioning that day, you can go from one piece of wood to the next and either flip them or crank them. The crankbaits that's been working the best is for me, because I've been fishing pretty shallow. 1.5 seems to be working about the best. I mean, it'll come through the brush and the logs pretty good. Get good sharp hooks on it. But this splatterback color been working real good. Another one that's been working good is the chartreuse sexy shad. What I'm doing, I'm just running this along the edge of the buckbrush, along the channel swings where there's a rock change or a laydown. Some days they're in the buckbrush, other days they're on the laydowns, and like I say, once you figure out which piece they're on, you call your shot from one laydown to the next. Now a lot of times, if you're not comfortable throwing these smaller crankbaits on a bait caster, I'm throwing a loose 10-pound braided line, and I've got a 8-pound fluorocarbon leader. So, you don't need that heavier line on a crankbait anyways, but this way here, you don't have to mess with any backlashes if you're not real comfortable throwing a small bait on a bait caster. Works out real well, so instead of, fighting the bait caster. But I've also been catching some fish in the river arms on a deep diving crankbait, 6XD, chartreuse sexy shad, Tennessee shad or green gizzard shad. And now I still haven't got a very good Carolina rig bite or football jig bite, but a lot of them fish out there are anywhere from 18 to 25 foot deep, and that's just going to get better and better as the water gets warmer. I think we're going to find as the water gets warmer, a lot of these shallow fish that I'm talking about we're catching on the little underspin or fish head, you're going to see that get a little bit tougher as the water gets hotter. It's kind of incredible how many smallmouths we're still catching 2 to 10 foot of water, first couple hours in the morning. Kind of all over the lake, a lot of Kentuckys, largemouths mixed in. And, Kibling City still got quite a bit of stain, but I've been up there by Eagle Rock and Big M where the water's real clear. It's working, every bit as good up there. It seems like once the sun gets up, when I was up the Upper White, I had to get in some of the pockets that had some stained water for the shallow bite to work, for the flipping bite. But, like I say, I think right now, whatever your strengths are or whatever your favorite technique is, you can go out and catch fish on it. As far as the topwater baits, the jointed redfin has been working about the best of anything. Good colors are Smoky Joe, Chrome Black, or Chrome Blue. Sportsman Factory Outlets got a sale on them. I think they got them in there 15% off. And that's a good bait. This time of year, you want to have some kind of topwater bait on the deck at all times, because you never know when the fish are going to be up chasing shad. The shad spawn is still going on. I think that's why a lot of that bite is so good on the underspin so early in the morning. And a lot of times too, I'm throwing a little bit bigger swim bait. I'm throwing some of them on just a 3/8 ounce head, some on a half. Some of them I'm throwing on a little bit bigger underspin as well. And it seems like if I'm out fishing a little deeper in the timber, I'll go with a bigger bait and a bigger head. If I'm fishing real, 10 foot or less, I'll usually throw that little 3/16 or 1/4 ounce. So, get a chance, you need to get out there. The boat traffic hasn't been bad, and fishing's really been awesome, all day long. We're not having too many lulls throughout the day. You can kind of change it up, do something a little different whenever the fish start changing. So, till next week, good luck, good fishing.